So Twilight Zone is the best of sci-fi, and Where Is Everybody is the first episode. Rod Serling, up until now, I don't think has been outmatched, and it's been an extended period of time as far as writing. A lot of people, they kind of come close, but even though this was just, in quotation marks, a television series, I think as far as sci-fi, and even as far as TV in general, Rod Serling is probably one of the best writers out there. And I've seen lots and lots of stuff, and pretty much nobody has really beat him as far as writing and depth, and then also addressing social issues in a way that is kind of woven into the plot in a seamless way. So the first episode, or rather the original episode of the Twilight Zone series, Where Is Everybody, aired on October the 2nd, 1959. I'm just going to focus on what are some of the positives and what are some of the negatives. So some of the main positives are the actual atmosphere that was built, and that was done through the shots, the scenery, and the lack of other people. And then even the idea, the concept of this man being played by Earl Holliman completely by himself to a certain extent is really something to be watched, honored, and cherished. So it's introducing viewers to an eerie and thought-provoking atmosphere, and a lot of that stuff will carry off into the series from season to season. So we're being introduced to the Twilight Zone atmosphere with this episode, and it's very kind of clear what we have to expect and what will come in the future. And of course, Twilight Zone episodes are usually psychological tension and mystery in every single episode. And sort of like the cross between those two, that is what embodies the Twilight Zone. Another really very important plus is the actual narrative depth of the show. The episodes explore themes of isolation, fear, and the human psyche, and how far it takes before the human psyche breaks. A little bit of a spoiler, setting a precedent for the series' ability to delve into philosophical and existential ideas. And the last major plus is that Earl Holliman does a great job of portraying the main protagonists in this show. And there's no one to be a foil with him. There's no one to really bounce stuff off. It's really 100% of what we're experiencing is coming from this actor. Now, some of the minuses of this very first episode were things like, to be honest, the pacing of this particular episode was really very, very slow. This episode really, in terms of my top 10 Twilight Zones, is really not even close. It's a very slow episode. Then, to be honest, it's a little bit predictable. So just the idea, we pretty much know where this is headed. It's not really a surprise when we get to where we get to at the end. So that bit is going to be a letdown, especially for many modern audiences. And then lastly, production. Many people might really kind of think that the production is so-so, especially if they compare it with CGI. So modern audiences may not really totally feel the production value of this particular episode. All in all, this particular show, the first show of the Twilight Zone, is really a great introduction into the Twilight Zone universe, though it is not the best show that's part of the Twilight Zone by a long shot. I'm just going to wrap up this video that, to be quite honest, I've held off an extended period of time from doing for whatever reason, I'm not sure, but it was one of the first videos I had wanted to do some years ago, so I'm doing it. If you liked it, give us a like, share.
There is a sixth dimension beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between light and shadow,